It's basically just a rebranding of my old podcast that I love to do so much because I would just bring my buddies from my film network to geek out on all of our favorite films. What I did with my dad when I was like 6. Not just for our favorite classics, but films as they come out in theaters as well. It's cool because you guys get to hold me accountable and make sure I get in the theater and study the classics. My favorite part was always just hearing about all these random, crazy ass movies I'd never heard of from all this eclectic blend of industry professionals I've met through the years. I'm beginning the series with the clip from one of my favorite movies of all time, being discussed with the best improv scene made a fella could have. Enjoy this segment of our passionate breakdown of La La Land. This is for all the dreamers. And if you want to watch the full episode, I pinky promise that I'm going to make that available one day on a website. Special thanks to Alexandra Petkus, and enjoy this film nerd life with your boy. We have the opportunity today to talk about La La Land. We have the pleasure of speaking with Miss Alexandra Petkus. She's an awesome actress and writer. I had the fortunate privilege of working with her. I was a producer on a film at SCAD Atlanta with my buddy Manhard that he directed and wrote. It was called Mute. She did an awesome job, and then coincidentally, we ended up in the same improv class at Dad's Garage, which we shouted out last episode with Kevin Saunders. So a lot of actors always say the number one, factor that you need as an actor or actress is to be able to listen. And that's one thing that I always notice with you in improv classes. Everything that you do is always directly correlated with whatever the person is doing. And what is it?
Oh,
yes anding. Man, you have flawless yes anding. Yes.
Thank you.
This one's for the dreamers. And nobody else, what better place to dream than an improv class, right?
And I have a lot to say about this one too, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I love it. I really think it's an endearing story that all of us within this line of duty, as performers in film and theater, he made this for us. He knew what he was doing with this, man. We all have been in those spots where we're wondering why the hell we're doing what we're doing. So I'm really excited to delve into it.
The first song is the one that everyone uses on TikTok. Are you on TikTok at all?
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not.
There are certain songs that people use for certain things. But that's just a commonly used the da 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 da. I was like, oh, it's the TikTok song.
Oh, that's what that's so funny. It's the TikTok song to you and probably most of everybody else. Now, with La La Land, to me, when I see it, the same reason why a lot of people don't like it, because it's so polished and perfect. I think as time goes on, it is just it has all of these awesome classic musicals to learn from, and the story within it is just so awesome. And again, Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling are just like these picture perfect actors with a great performance. And I think with the director's background, I just think that it was just it's just so highly polished and so perfectly done that it sort of becomes a prototype. Prototypes are the ones that end up getting used everywhere because it just feels right. People don't know no better. They're just downloading real quick. That sounds like a great performance, right? And that's what La La Land is. Like every part of it is oozing this sort of complicated.
I did notice all
life.
The colors and everything, especially in her apartment.
Right.
Wow, and now all the roommates are wearing primary colors.
Right.
And they're all in the same solid shade.
Right. But it feels real. It feels like LA. It doesn't feel like it's being...
I don't know. It felt like...
Well, it does feel fake, but that's what LA is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
You feel me? It all felt like a set. The whole film felt like a set, but LA feels like a set. And one thing that when I'm on set, I always think about how everything is so perfect. You think about these key grips and these gaffers and the director and the top-notch DP and the top-notch actor. They all got together for this one moment, and they're focusing on this one little space to make it look perfect, exactly how they want it. And the performer's been practicing, and then they get the hair and the makeup, and they're perfect. And it's this moment that is just, but you can touch it with a pinky, and it'll all
falls
come
over.
crumbling over. That is Hollywood, for better or worse. But I love that they kept with that, and I think that that's what's the most dangerous thing about being in this industry, or is if you don't know who you are before you're here. Because if you're looking for validation here, you're gonna get thrown around, and this industry feeds off of people that don't know who they are and don't know what to do with their energy, and they're like, yes, give me that. I will suck the life out of you.
They're like, oh, it's money.
And if you're willing, and it's cool to do whatever, as long as you can look yourself in the mirror the next morning and you still see that you got yourself behind those eyes still staring back at you, right? The way I see it, right? But
do I want to see this one? I feel like I might have wanted to see something that was more critically acclaimed, whatever, just because I remember hearing a bunch of stuff about it.
Well, La La Land's pretty critically acclaimed.
It had awards, but popular opinion was kind of like, whatever.
Well, it got mentioned as the winner of the Oscar, but
I know, that was terrible.
That was a bad look. That was
so bad. Yeah, Damien Chazelle.
Right. He did a short version of Whiplash, and very, just so well, storytelling is so hard in a lot of ways to do it short. So he was able to capture Whiplash in this little 10-15 minute short, and that got him the budgeting to do the feature. And then the feature did awesome, and here we are. So shout out to Damien Chazelle, definitely, man. Yeah. And I can't wait to do a musical. I so badly want to do one, but that is some highly choreographed stuff that's happening.
A lot of the flack for the movie itself was from musical theater people that I knew.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. I also think that they could have stood for Ryan Gosling's character to be a brother, too. I think that might have would have helped with the story a bit, especially since it was Moonlight that ended up being too. I think it would have help with the zeitgeist a little bit, and also he was trying to breathe life into jazz. It's funny that you say that, because I was thinking that too. I feel like he should have been black. Right. But Ryan killed it though, man. I'm a big Ryan Gosling fan. There's not too many performances of his that I don't like entirely love. They can sing, dance, and they can act their tail off, and they're both gorgeous. So you really couldn't go wrong with them as the leads. But I think it did for a lot of people feel a little too perfect.
I did get like that too perfect vibe too. Valuing my flexibility and my time is more important to me. And
you have to have the audacity for you. Knowing yourself is everything, but then also you have to have the audacity to go out and live your life. And it's not going to look like everyone else's, and maybe the people that you look up to, or maybe the world around you doesn't look like the way it is in your head. But that's because you're a freaking dreamer. You got to make it real. You know what I'm saying? You got to take those steps when everybody else, when it doesn't make any sense at all. When there's nothing but darkness, you got to know that it's about to be bright. You know what I mean? For lack of, you know what I'm saying? Not to be Saturday morning cartoony, but that's what we're in La La Land, baby. That's what we have.
Yeah, it takes a lot of faith in staying the course when other people are like, what are you
doing? And when the actress, Emma Stone is a barista, as the actress comes walking in, and she wants to be the actress, right? But she's working at this barista on this studio lot because it probably feels like a good way to get connections, work on the side as you're waiting for your big opportunity. But it's also where you're seeing the best version of yourself walk up to you while you're like, you want a grande? And then they walk away and you're just like, I want that, but I gotta deal with picking up the next shift and now I can't go to my next audition.
And the irony with that too, you're obviously working at the Warner Brothers cafe in the part, and to have your manager be like, you can't get off to go get an audition, you would think that would be the job that they'd be understanding. They'd be like, of course actors are trying to work here.
Right.
And of course, as long as you get someone to cover your shift, you can go. But she's like, no, you have to work.
Right. And that's because that's everybody in LA who's a barista
or is a waiter.
They're all waiting for that moment to show their headshot, or they're waiting for that audition. They don't have time for that. We need you to get the freaking coffee, right? That's all well and great. Your dreams don't matter. And I feel like that's what's so awesome about the film too, because especially in film school, I've been fortunate enough to work in the industry, as small as it may be, being a little PA, memorizing my coffees and my walkies, inventory list, but seeing it on such that huge level and just seeing how everybody just wants to get in. There's so many people that just want to get in. I'll do anything for it, only to find out that it is waiting for you to run you dry, to run you ragged. And that barista job is almost no different, because I bet you it's cool to her to tell her friends back home, oh, I'm a barista at this coffee bar in the WB studio. Ooh, I'm on my way. Agents will be there. So a producer's going to see me. I'll be there. That's going to happen, right?
Especially for someone who's new and in it. I think that's also a big thing, is thinking you're closer to things than you are.
Right.
And then also not knowing your priorities, seeing the whole thing. Oh, that's another actor thing that speaks to me. For example, when I first started acting, I had my jobs and I had acting, but also me as a person, I always feel a strong sense of accountability. Right. I'm the person who's punctual. I'm the person, if I make plans, I keep them, whatever. I would get an audition or something. Oh no, what do I do? I'm working. I made my working shift first. I should probably keep whatever's first on my schedule, not realizing, oh no, I have to do what's good for me, because your job's not going to look out for you. Your job's not going to look out for your dream or anything. Exactly, yeah. Those people aren't even following their dreams. They're just being a cog in the corporate machine.
Yeah, man. And it can be so disheartening. And I love their performances, because he cares about jazz, right? He cares about what real jazz is, right? And to the point where it just makes him sick when people are ignoring it as it's playing in the elevator, right? And he appreciates it for what it is and wants it to be this thing, right? But John Legend, I love the very sobering thing that he let him know, where it's like, that's not real anymore, man. You have to go out and be an innovator. That's what jazz is. So you can't do what Thelonious Monk or Miles Davis, you can't do what was done in the past. They've already done it. And that's why it's not celebrated anymore, because it already got done. Now you got to do your jazz song. And he ended up doing it, but it took Emma Stone's dream, her dreamer spirit, for him kind of to rub off on him in order for him to realize that, man. Because again, you can, to me, you can be a dreamer, but you got to make it real. You got to put the wheels down to the street, and you got to realize that however you do it, whether it's school or writing or go the church plays, whatever that thing is that you need to do to work on that part of your craft at that point in time in your life, you have to enjoy it. And you have to be able to look at yourself in the mirror when you're busting the tables, or when you're going to school, or whatever it is on the side, a pyramid scheme, I don't know, whatever it is that you got to do, a teacher, whatever that thing is that might not feel as fulfilling, you got to have the guts to look at yourself in the mirror and know that I'm okay with sacrificing this right now. And it's shedding that. As a storyteller in general, you have to shed away that selfishness that might have brought you there, that might have brought you to the party, right? I think what brought me to the party back when I used to rap and when I was a kid and I was Simba and the Lion King and all that, I wanted attention, man. I wanted it bad. And I have fun doing it, but there was also disappointing times. And I'm not saying that no performer isn't allowed to be disappointed or whatever, and not allowed to feel all your feelings all the way through. But I just think when you have that void and you're doing it for that attention,
it's on you and your own thing.
Yeah, man.
You're not bringing something greater to it than when you are doing it for the world or for everyone else.
I really like the banter with the screenwriter. He brought up, Joseph Campbell.
Oh my gosh.
You want to sound like a smart writer.
Oh, I'm really hot right now, really big.
Are you?
I got a lot of things going on.
Yeah, are you? Yeah, it is. Everybody has to be their own cheerleader, unfortunately. And that's what makes that area feel so plasticky sometimes. And then he was like, I'm a big deal. I'm really into world building. That is writing 101. You got to get past that. You got to get to the next level where you're talking about the characters and the dialogue, if any, in beat by beat situation. World building is, in a way, is easy. It's purple and the sky's green, because that's what I said. I'm a great world builder, let me tell you. I'm the best there is in town. Their dance together, when he walked her down to go get to her green Prius. I love the synchronicity of it
Hollywood.
all. It's so beautiful, right? And to me, it's them showing each other what they have in common with the synchronicity, but then the kind of flavor that each one of them can kind of be attracted to, the kind of yin to each other's yang. When we're talking about the journey that he has to face as an individual, at the beginning, he is playing jazz, the thing that he loves so much, for people that are supposed to ignore it. They're supposed to be focused on their date and all of that. And that's just a perfect place to put this character at the beginning.
Especially since he talks about how that drives him crazy.
Exactly. And they put him right smack in the middle of
Right.
it. And it gets him fired, right? Again, his passion again, getting him fired. That's his great character setup.
He's actually playing.
Right. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. I wouldn't be surprised. Let's remember, he was a Musketeer. He was in the Mickey Mouse Club.
Was he?
Ryan Gosling has been doing it. It's a lot of these actors, we see them in the moment and they're like, wow. But man, of course Ryan Gosling is awesome.
Sure, he has a piano double for whatever.
Yeah.
I have certain parts here and there, but from where I could see that he was actually playing.
As a filmmaker, as a performer. That's a lot of the reason why I'm doing this podcast right now. Me wanting to keep my community and create an antenna for a community where I realized, man, I'm not doing this stuff anymore because I want attention. I'm not doing this stuff anymore because I have this really cool idea that I think would be out there. I've been like humbled, bruh. I have been like, I don't do it for that stuff anymore. I do it because I've gone through all of it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was Simba in Elvis, because I sung too many octaves low when I was in 5th grade, and then all the rapping and that I did, and that ended up me being the videographer, to me going to film school, to me PAing, to me teaching to do PSAs and stuff. All of that stuff has brought me here to this point, and I'm here because I'm the filmmaker. Well, I'm working on a project right now because my buddy helped me produce my thesis. So that's why I'm spending the time doing what I'm doing right now. I had a friend that used to help me write. We actually played football together at UAB. They never really gave him a good chance. That's a deeper story. But he ended up having kids, became a police officer. He got cancer, and then he passed away. And before he passed away, me and him would write screenplays together all the time and talk about how we're going to put all our stuff out there. And I was working on this cool sci-fi that I still want to do, a couple of sci-fis that I want to do, and figuring out how to get that together is started to feel like a pipe dream. How am I going to compete with all these tent poles and get my original content made? How am I going to make a comic book that can build a fan base that can then do this? Or how can I write this perfect sci-fi screenplay that the right person sees it and gets it done? No, here's the thing. I had a friend that just passed away, and that was the end of his story. And he didn't become a football star. He didn't become a successful screenplay writer. And that was the end of his story. Not on my watch, because I'm the filmmaker. That's what I do. So to me, that's the heart of service that I really feel like I appreciate so much from Emma, and what Ryan realized once they became patrons for the thing that they cared about so much versus them chasing after it all the time, right? That scene where he plays the piano and they live out their whole relationship. I got so much to say about it, but I'm just wondering, what do you think? Could they have been together and it all had worked out?
Yeah, I didn't feel like super bad about it. It's just, and both scenarios were kind of like, happy. When they were together, they were happy. It wasn't like they were fighting or anything, or he was, because of course it's not going to go in with that 3-minute montage. It's not going to show him pining away wishing, oh, I wish I had my own club.
Right.
But I think it always just comes down to someone accomplishing their main dream, the main thing that they want to get out of life. And kind of like what we talked in the beginning about, sometimes it happens. Sometimes people come in to your life and go out, and there's nothing wrong with it, nothing wrong with the situation, but it's just,
it's time. It's time to turn the page. It's just a new chapter. I feel you on that. Again, it's a piece in your heart that you got to have about it. I just think for so many reasons, cinematically, they did a great job. Also, shout out to, Linus Sandgreen, the DP. I worked with him when he DP'd on Joy with David O. Russell. And to see that he won Best Cinematography on this, I was like, oh my gosh, that's Linus. It's such a cool guy, man. He's very talented. But I think that in every way, what La La Land is really encapsulating in so many different ways is what you just said. And not to go off on a tangent, but I love in Inception when Leonardo DiCaprio's character, is talking to Molly, and he's trying to get him off their back basically, and she's like, but we were supposed to live together forever and grow old, and he's like, we did. And then it just changed the whole game, right? Because he just decided to do Inception again, all right? Just like he placed that in her head that the realities were blurred. he just placed Inception in her head that they did already grow old together. And that gave her the peace of mind to leave them alone, right? And he gave her the best thing that he could give to her. They went through the montage of very similar to Ryan Gosling playing the piano, went through the montage of them growing old together and living that great life. And it's realer than rain, man. It is just as real as the rain that hits you on your hand because you felt it. Because that's how you guys felt when you guys were together. Even though you guys didn't have the kids and all of that, you guys were there for each other in those moments. And that's why you wonder. That's why you can see it in those moments. And to me, when you're brave enough to go out and live a full life of ups and downs and just different chapters and stuff, and treat everything, give everything your all in those moments, man. Because we only have one life. And it's not to say to screw people over or make mistakes or dismiss, not be empathetic to everything that's happening, but to appreciate people in the moments and to appreciate what's happening to your life, man. It couldn't have happened any other way. You can say, oh, they could have went to Paris.
He could have played at a club in Paris.
Right, she could have done her thing there and would have been, well, you could say.
It could have been long distance.
Right, you could have came back maybe later on. Yes, but it didn't, man. It's so beautiful that they were that for each other. So much so that they can reminisce about each other that way, right? And they can just look at each other and part ways, and it can be that, right? When we get into that sort of hopeless romantic mode of not just with people, just in our life, just with our craft, where it's like it's this you're longing for this place that doesn't exist, man. It's like this, again, it's this place where all the lights are on and the camera's at, that's always moving. It's not at one place. It's all over the place, and it's so hard to capture. So you're trying to identify yourself with being there in that place, and it getting away from that. Just setting, it's not about the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and the if I coulda, and if the lines. No, it's right now. Where are you right now? Be where your feet are, and appreciate that, because there's people that don't have that. I really feel like that's so much encompassed. I love them kind of depicting that situation and it not being just the corny, them getting back together and it being all
life
good.
doesn't always get wrapped up with a nice, neat bow.
Right. And maybe it never does. I think it's all just what the screenwriters wrote. I think it's just the hero's journey. I think it's just Joseph Campbell when it happens like that. I don't think maybe it never happens like that in reality. Maybe it's always just randomness, and maybe it's always just the determination and the planets aligning and just things happening, and you having the emotional maturity to enjoy it and to work hard on it and then move on to it and go to the next thing. And if you lied or if you didn't do something properly, then maybe you can't go back to that person, or maybe you can't go back to that life, or maybe when you go back to those times you think ill of them. Well, those moments got killed because you lied or because you didn't do the best. You didn't do your best. But guess what, man? Nobody's perfect. Everybody F's up. And you got to be nice to yourself. You're not God. You're not as esoteric as I am. I do try to always remind myself that this is all I got. I can plan all I want for the future. I can learn from the past all I want. And I can judge myself all day. But all I got is right now. Holy hell, I'm sitting here with Alex, man. We're doing a podcast.
I think it's a little bit of my personality type, though, because I guess I have done that in the past. Oh, I had all my hopes on this callback, and I was excited, and I didn't hear a good actor. But it's more energy to sit in the past than it is to just keep moving forward. So when I do have those moments where something's not right, what am I like? What do I need to change? What do I need to work on? What am I missing right now? And I get laser focused, start focusing on the, well, I don't have a whole lot of new footage since the last year or something. So maybe I need to focus on auditioning for projects that will give me footage, or creating my own content that will target the types of things that I need to do. Or maybe I don't look so much like my headshots anymore. Maybe that's what it is. People ask me to audition because they think I look like this, but then I do audition and I don't look like that. Let's get some new headshots. I start just, what's the problem? How do I fix it?
That's beautiful. Yeah. That's it. I think what you just said, it reminds me of what my football coach would say. You write down the goal, write down the steps to the goal, erase the goal.
I
Focus
like
on the
that. Yeah.
You know, and
Because it's all process based, it's not
right.
results based. You can't
Exactly.
focus on the result. Yeah.
Exactly, man. And when, again, using another sports analogy, it's we win the championship. We win the game the week before. Game time, you're just showing everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You're just showing everybody how it happened, but you're winning it when you wake up in the morning and you eat the healthy meal and then you go to your workouts.
Or you do your best work in class. You do your best work with your scene partner.
Right.
So when the job comes, it's muscle memory.
Right.